It's Conan Exiles, the open world survival game based on the Conan universe. There's single player with co-op if you'd like to do that kind of thing, but the real meat of the game is the online, from which you can choose PvP or PvE. PvP is players against players, PvE is players against the environment. So yeah, we're just going to kind of show off the initial part of the game. I've played this on the Xbox intensely over time, and I believe also on PC. I can't remember, there's so many of these survival games. Anyways, we're going to jump into a match, and yeah, it should be a blast here. So obviously, this game is all about surviving the harsh world of Conan. There's a lot more to it than just survival, though. It is a very, very big and vast world with different biomes, environments, and so forth. It really depends on how into it you actually get. There's not really a narrative, as to say, but you have a lot of choice. You can be one of those people that just goes around killing people, or you can just gather supplies, or you can just mess around with your friends. But if you are actually looking for content, there's a fair bit of things to do in here as far as discovering creepy monsters or going out there and exploring further into the world to see what wonders lie beyond. Cool, so we got in after some issues there. You know, servers, they're servers. So you can be male or female. You choose your race. There's a couple of different options based on what you like. And yeah, so I mean, you kind of go from there. Will be whatever this is. You can choose your religion. There's different types, and that kind of factors into what sort of things you can do. You change your voice.
Cut me down. Cut me down. Cut me down. The gods.
Yeah, you could be like savage or whatever you like. Customization options are up to you. There's head options too. Change how you look. Like, I mean, it's like a full customization option, like suite of options. They do a pretty good job on this one, to be honest. I've always been very impressed with the hairstyle option. Well, not the hairstyle option, but you know, the general body options are actually fairly impressive. At least I think so. Cool. Oh, we got another one right here too. Yeah. Now let's get weird here. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And then you can do face details, you know, the cheeks, the jaw, anything like that that you want to customize. I mean, I don't really care too much, but you can like change the mouth and everything like that. It's really about as digging in as far as you'd like to, and then we can change the physique, like the height. And you do partial nudity, which I'm assuming I'm going to blur out. I believe in Europe, depends on your market, you can have the full nudity, where you can actually see everything. Same with the guys, you can have like the dick if that's something you want to have in your Conan game, but I mean, you know, obviously, you know, that choice is up to you if you're in that region, but it is censored for North America. Sure. Let's get into it. So this is how it starts off. As I was mentioning, obviously, there's not really a story here, but there's a tale. Kind of how you get to the situation. You're tied up here, and then you get off into the world to kind of do your thing. Crucified and left to die for crimes that may or may not have been committed based on the past you create for your character. Cool, so here we are inside the game. Actually looks kind of good. Ah, crap, I forgot. I didn't see the long ponytail. I don't want this weird long ponytail. As I was mentioning, so there's PvP and there's PvE. PvP is where you can kind of just kill anyone you want at any point. PvE, you've got to, you know, work together, I guess, against the creatures, or just kind of go and do your own thing. That's cool. And there's also the local multiplayer. So I do have a basis of comparison because I have played this quite a bit on the Xbox One X. and the base Model 2 I've played it on. Crap, am I going the right way? Yeah. So it's a little bit, I want to say, rough around the edges. You can see like the little lack of anti-aliasing there on the hair and stuff. Might not show up as much on a video format, but yeah, it's not quite as detailed, but it runs incredibly smooth, and I think like visually it actually looks pretty good. We've got a decent draw distance. I'd say it's fairly comparable. I'm really gonna have to see once we get into the actual sort of tropical area how it's going to match up, because that's the best kind of base of comparison I can make, is once I get to that sort of green grassy area. So there's a mix here of things. It's either like people can be really friendly, or they can, like, you know, kill you. Oh look, there's big creature. Oh wow, nice. I'm actually very surprised at how well this is running. I didn't anticipate this, considering, you know, when the game's launched on other platforms, it typically does not have a very good launch day, if that makes sense. It just seems to like the servers just crash out. So yeah. Yeah, we're moving along. It's a very smooth looking game. It's actually running really well on the PlayStation, so that's nice. We're going to get more into details about things as we actually get to a safe area, because you do die of, like, kind of, you know, burning to death. Burning to death. You know, you get dehydrated, and, like, the sun is not good for you. I'm not too sure I'm a fan of the way the foliage looks in this one. I don't think it's quite as detailed. Still looks not too bad. Yeah, that's a lot of popping in the distance there. Keep in mind, this is the final release, and it's not being in early access or anything like that. But you notice the grass is sort of loading in the close proximity to where I actually am, which is a little bit disappointing. Keep in mind, for this server, for particular things, I believe it's 5 times on for all stats, so it is like an aggressively quick leveling setup. You get to pick your server and, you know, the player size, and you can put favorites down and come back to it. Like, these are persistent worlds. It's kind of like Ark Survival Evolved. If you've played that one, I'd say it's actually basically the exact same. So you get an idea of it. You're trying to, you know, balance your life. You gotta eat, you gotta drink water, you gotta keep alive, you gotta, you know, keep your weight down so you're not too heavy. Drinking some water. So you actually have a bit of a journey, like a thing that you're supposed to do in chapters and so forth in order to survive and kind of do like the goals of the game, if that makes sense. You can have a clan with other players, because you do have a progressive sort of skill tree that you work up, and you build shelters and so forth. When you die, it's kind of harsh, because, you know, you die and you lose your stuff, which is sad, and yeah, it's not the best of things. Sorry, I'm just getting confused with these. So you can actually see it's like a really big level with a bunch of different biomes that are featured, depending on where you go. And there's a lot of freedom, because you're not locked to having to particularly do anything or any goals. It's actually, you know what, I gotta say, it's a pretty good draw distance in this. It's kind of a weird blur that's going along in the side. I'm assuming you can edit that in the settings. I assume that's being picked up. Oh, I hit the mic there. I assume that's being picked up in regards to kind of how the character's moving. Motion blur. Would that fix that? I don't know. Oh yeah, and you can choose the nudity that you see as well, in case you don't want to play with the tits out. That's completely up to you. There's the server settings. Yeah, that's sort of weird how it like kind of does that motion to it. That's awkward. Okay, cool. We're gonna continue going. Here's our kind of wheel. This is the bumper L1, I guess. You know, LB. You can kind of kick to the special attack there on the L2, R2 punch. You know, you get the uppercuts there with the RB or the R1, I guess. Great. So this is the down on the, I don't know, do you guys call it a D-pad on here? Sorry, I'm just used to the Xbox controller. It's my own fault. And you can do contextual kind of options there. There's the map, is the quick on the right on the D-pad. and the Exile's Journey, which we'll go back to stats. You kind of see how I've got my character here. Feats, you know, this is where you kind of spend your knowledge points. This is what I was talking about, where you like sort of level up and you spend it to unlock items and so forth. Because you can build like full shelters, and you can put stuff in the shelters that help you forge new items and new weapons and so forth. I find it's really good to do these kind of review type things because I have the experience being on other platforms, and then I can just take that and kind of make a comparison based on the initial start of this area, as opposed to having like a bunch of weird things and being like, oh, look at all this cool crap I got. But you know, whatever I'm feeling like. So I got some available, and you can kind of see also how your decision will affect future availability for items. So I just spent my skill point on that one. See how everything's getting highlighted in green? That kind of just gives you a sense of progression as you move forward. On a bed, I don't know if I really care to make this other stuff. So you do really kind of need to spend your points, and then, you know, you get more available as you level. So we're going to continue forward. I'm going to need to eat. Whoa. And you can dodge too. I totally forgot about the battle rolls. Yes. Oh, and you can swim if that's something you'd like to do. You can like dive under the water. And you can breathe under the water. It's a good thing to do if somebody's chasing you and you want to run away and you know, not die. Combat. Sorry, I really love the combat roll here. So there's the inventory, because we've just gone over the feats. I guess we should do attributes first. So this is how you spend it and spend points. Your vitality. And that can kind of improve your general stats and so forth. It's a really easy kind of thing to understand and work with. So we spent those. Here's the inventory. This is kind of where you do your crafting. So we've got 35 branches, 20 stone, obviously, because the multipliers. You can see your health, your hunger, your thirst, and everything at the top there. How much everything weighs, your armor, your character, and you can kind of build things from the side here. So we're going to need... oh, crap. I accidentally built... yeah, okay, we need one. Because I built 4 of them. And we'll make a torch. Should we have enough? No, we don't have enough supplies for a torch. Okay, well, we'll make the essential items. I don't think we have enough for anything else. Twine. Good old twine. As you can see in our wheel, we've got our tool. So we want to sort of collect items with this, right? And we're getting stone from breaking this. Keep in mind that the items you make do wear down. As you can see with the health there, how I've used it up a bit. We can go up to a tree. That thing is ugly. Oh, that's a slight performance little hiccup there. So we're collecting wood. You know, you cut down the tree, it all fades out. Cool, right? Yeah. So you collect like plants, so you can get the fiber. Got to have that fiber. And the aloe vera. I think this is aloe, maybe not. You collect the fiber, and then you can go and you can craft. So I clicked the middle kind of touchpad to pull up the quick inventory. It's kind of hotkeyed, which is nice. And then we can craft like a lot of it. You can craft 10, you can craft like a certain quantity of what it gives you, like a max craft and so forth to build things. Then we can build like an improvised torch, or we can build like a bedroll. It's really easy to get going in this particular one. Again, because they're so kind in regards to what they're letting you do. Yeah, I'm eating those handful of insects because I forgot I gotta eat. Let's get a bed and just place it. And we got a campfire. Yeah, you're not supposed to sleep by a campfire. You roll into it and you burn. It's not a good idea. But, you know, whatever. I know it's smart to be right by the water too in case the tide comes in and picks you up, but you know I do me. Eat these handful of insects. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mmm, yum yum yum. Cool. Craft like, I don't know, a shirt and some pants so you can be a little bit more presentable. No, we gotta look good, right? Actually, I wonder if we have anything for... because it is faster tracking. I find vitality really important in games. If you watch other stuff I do, I really do invest highly in vitality, always. Kind of that. I'd like an actual weapon. Okay. Warrior. So actually, I think I can make that. Let's take a look over here. Oh, we're missing... I guess we need twine? Or am I out of fiber? Oh, we got fiber. Where are we crafting? Sorry. There we go. Nice. We need a little bit more fiber. Or is that not fiber there? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, we also need crap. We need twine. So we need more plant fiber. My bad. But I hope this kind of shows off the basics a bit, because that's really a key part of everything here is what it goes over. So I'm fairly happy with what they've managed on the platform. I think it looks pretty good. It plays really well so far, gameplay wise. What the heck? There we go. And it's got a smooth wheel. They seem to have really gotten like kicks out of things. Kill this giant creature. Yeah. So I mean, what you do in this game is up to you. You can go and you can work with others. You can fight them. You can, you know, join clans, kill creatures, monsters. There's magical elements, lots of skill trees to work up. Shelter you can create, combat you can do. You want some of me two giant turtle monster thing? I miss the dodos in Ark. They're really easy to deal with. But it's very much a visceral combat game. There's lots of blood and so forth. Because they are trying to capture that raw essence of Conan, the late night talk show host. And they do a pretty good job of it. And you can like loot corpse. I think I basically have gone over like the features and so forth of things. You really get to go out and just you know, explore out there in this large open world. Yeah, that motion's a bit weird. And I mean, it does seem to play pretty well and give you a good performance. You get a good distance, you get a good space and everything like that. And torch, unleashing my inner Lara Croft there. You know, we're doing some tomb raiding. But it's a vast world, and there's a lot of activities you can do, and really what you want to get out of it is up to you as a player. And like, you can go and you can do like the kind of quest missions that it wants you to do, or you can just have a fun time and kill people and work with others and your friends in a clan if you'd like, and build little huts like that over the river, and then somebody like me could come over and raid and attack you. And yeah, it's cool.
You picked the wrong fight.